Today we're going to be looking at some brand new Plants vs. Zombies plushes that literally just got released. As well, by the time this video comes out, these plushes will only have been a day old. So yeah, the company Linxin has finally released a brand new Plants vs. Zombies plushie after a while of not releasing any. As well, their last main Plants vs. Zombies plushie that was released was back in 2022, so it's been over 2 years since their last Plants vs. Zombies plush set. And while that plush set wasn't really that good, as well, the majority of Linxin 2's plushes now are actually just redesigns. But that's actually not the case for their newly released plushes, as well, these are actually brand new and unique plushes, so they're actually really cool. So yeah, these are their first unique plushes they've released in a while. Well, starting off with the first one, we have EM Peach. Now, the face on this plush actually looks really good, and it seems to be really nicely stitched on. As well, the embroidery on the eyes and everything just look really good, and it looks pretty accurate to the game. The shape of the EM Peach also looks pretty good, and once again looks pretty accurate. It is kind of weirdly stuffed at the bottom of the EM Peach, but besides that, the rest of it looks pretty good. The only inaccuracy about this plush is that the antenna has 2 rings instead of only having 1. As well, the antenna is supposed to only have 1 big ring around it, and it's not supposed to have the small ring that's on this plush, but besides that one detail, the rest of the plush is fine. As well, all the other details are accurate, and well, even though that small ring isn't supposed to be there, the plush still looks really good. And while the antenna is made out of a felt material, and the antenna detail is just printed on. And while I actually really like that they printed it on as well, but it adds a bit more detail as well, but it looks more realistic. And it also just makes the design just slightly better, so yeah, I'm actually glad that they printed it on. It didn't just use felt material to represent it. So yeah, for the first of these plushes, this one actually looks really good, and I would actually definitely recommend getting it. And well, that goes for all 4 of these plushes as well. They're all on eBay currently, so you could get them there. Though it might be kind of hard to get right now, as well, a bunch of the listings keep going in and out of stock. So since these plushes just got released, it might be kind of hard to get them at first, as well, a lot of them just go out of stock really quickly. Moving on to the next plush, we have the Sunbeam. Now, out of all 4 of these plushes, this is probably the worst one, mainly just because it has red eyes. And while I really have no idea why they did that as well, but if they didn't add the red into the eyes, this plush would actually basically look perfect. As though the Sunbeam is just a very simplistic plant, so they didn't really have to add much detail to it, and I don't really know why they added the red eyes, as though it just kind of makes it look a bit strange. But besides that, all the other details on this plush look pretty good, and the Sunbeam is pretty nicely shaped, and it looks pretty accurate. And while the eyes are nicely embroidered on, it's pretty high quality, so even though the red isn't supposed to be there, every other detail on this plush is basically perfect. And while that makes sense, as well, the Sunbeam is a very simplistic character, as well, there's not much design to him. So it makes sense why this plush is basically perfect, as well, there's not really many details that they could have messed up on. So yeah, once again, just like the EM Peach, I would definitely recommend getting it, as well. It's just a really high quality plush, and also is just really unique, as well. There's no other Sunbeam plush. Moving on to the next plush, we have the Grape Shot. Now, the grapes on this plush actually look really good, and the faces actually look pretty nice. As though there's actually a few different facial expressions on the grapes, which I actually really like, as well. That's how it's supposed to look in the game, so they did a good job with that. The only problem about this plush is that some of the faces are just reused too many times, and some of the faces aren't really reused at all. So I think they should have just evened out the faces a bit more, as one facial expression is just used way too much on this plush, so I think they should have just made multiple different facial expressions and spaced them evenly apart. As well, on this Grape Shot plush, there's just a bunch of the same facial expression right next to each other, and it doesn't really look right. But besides that, the shape of them and everything look pretty good, and it's actually a really nice looking plush. The stem on this plush is also pretty nicely made, and the only detail that could really get damaged on this plush is that the leaf could get bent, as well, it's made out of a felt material. And while it does actually look pretty accurate in terms of the shape of it, so that is one detail that does look nice about it. So yeah, honestly, I'm really glad that they made this plush as well. I don't think any other company would ever think of making a Grape Shot plush, as it was just kind of a character that I never thought would ever get a plush, but I am glad that they made it, as it was just really unique. And moving on to the final one of these plushes, we have Lava Guava. Now, the reason why the Lava Guava has a bandana on is that it actually is one of the costumes that's within the game. As of in Plants vs. Zombies 2, you could get costumes for the plants in the game, and it is based off of one of those. As one of the costumes from Lava Guava is a red bandana, and that's obviously what they based this plush off of. And well, I'm assuming if you just want a normal Lava Guava plush without the costume, you could easily take it off, as it was most likely only stitched on by a little bit, so it's most likely really easy to take off. So if you just want a normal Lava Guava plush without the costume, you could probably easily make that happen. And well, for the face on the Lava Guava, it seems to be really nicely stitched on. I like the dark green embroidery that they use as well. I think it looks pretty nice. And well, the embroidery looks pretty high quality, and the Lava Guava is pretty nicely shaped. The top of the Lava Guava is also really nicely shaped, and you can see that the inside of it's a red color. And while the bandana just seems to be made out of a normal plush material, it's most likely only stitched onto the top of the Lava Guava so it doesn't immediately fall off. So yeah, honestly, I would have preferred this plush without the costume on it as well, but I think it just would have looked better without the costume, but you could most likely just really easily take it off. But even with the bandana on it, it doesn't really make the plush look that bad, and well, in my opinion, it's still a really nice looking plush. Especially because the only other Lava Guava plush that exists is this one custom plush. And well, in my opinion, the custom plush does look better, but that plush is also just a lot bigger, so there's more space for more details. And well, the other custom Lava Guava plush is basically impossible to get, so I'm really glad that Linxin 2 made this one as well. This one's very easy to get. So yeah, all four of these plushes just look really good, and I hope that Linxin 2 kind of makes more unique plushes. As well, hopefully they see that a lot of people enjoy these new and unique plushes, and hopefully they continue to make more unique characters in the future instead of just making a ton of redesigns. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please like and subscribe and comment down below which of these plushes are your favorite, and yeah, have a great day.